Hello everybody, it's Amanda. It is the 6th of February 2020 and I'm coming back on to do the second part of the video that I started yesterday, or I did part one yesterday, looking at the Democrat nominees in the USA election for 2020. And I wasn't anticipating coming on quite so soon, but Archangel Metatron has said to me, if I do the other contenders now, or the main contenders, then it is in the same timeline strand as I read on yesterday. Because I was explaining yesterday that things can change, timelines are jumping all of the time. So I got the guidance to do the remaining ones today, and then it's almost as though the read is on a level playing field, and it will still change, but you know, at least I've sort of done them all around the same time. I wanted just to mention a couple of things that have come in overnight from some of you. I've read all of your comments, thank you very much. Brilliant feedback coming in, and also I so acknowledge the respect that most people are paying to each other. I do approve every single comment before it comes onto my YouTube channel, just to keep people out who are wanting to cause mischief or negativity. And just to give you a heads up, it literally is, it's probably less than 10 comments that haven't made it onto the page. So as of now, we've got, I don't know, we've got hundreds of comments that are there. So it's a very, very accurate representation of certainly the people that watch my channel anyway. I realise that, of course, there are different opinions on other channels, but the point is that like attracts like. So if you have found this channel and my work, it probably is that we're on a similar vibration. It doesn't mean that we won't disagree from time to time or not see things exactly the same way, but generally we're probably of the same tribe. So, yeah, so I will just sort of bring us up to speed. It is 2:30 in the afternoon here on the 6th. Yes, I enjoyed my birthday cake with my mum. Thank you all very much for all the lovely messages that came through for her. I'll pass those on to her, and she was very touched, so thank you. I also rather loved the fact that on the day that I brought through a video, and any political video is slightly controversial in nature, that we had, I'd mentioned my mum, because that sort of maternal energy, I've talked about it a few times, haven't I, that the world needs more maternal energy. Even if you're not a mother, you know, just us being able to link into the maternal energy is very healing at this time. So in the same, on the same day that many people were obviously commenting on what I'd said politically, a lot of you were also saying happy birthday to my mum, Angela. So I thought that was great. Okay, so also since yesterday, Donald Trump was acquitted. No great surprise there, to me anyway, and I don't think many of you. I had never seen that going anywhere, to be perfectly honest. So that has happened, and I have to say that, well, no, I'm not laughing because actually it's very sad, but there's a wry smile, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So Trump's acquitted, and then of course we wake up here to news in the UK that Kirk Douglas died, age 103, last night. Well, of course, 103 is a fantastic age to get to. He had an extremely interesting and varied life. So you can't really mourn too much somebody that's lived that long and had such an amazing life. He can be missed by his family and friends, of course, and I'm sure he will be. But when I heard the news, I noticed it had knocked Donald Trump off the top of the headlines. And there was part of me that just smiled because I thought, I bet Kirk was a Democrat. And I didn't know what his political persuasion was. And so I've just looked it up, and yeah, he was a Democrat. And, you know, the soul just sometimes goes out with a bit of a cheeky wave. And I feel that's sort of what he did. So it was certainly noticeable here in the UK press. Went to bed and it was breaking news that Trump had been acquitted, but in the morning he'd been knocked off the front pages and it was Kirk. So yeah, it's almost like sort of the royalty of Hollywood was going to take top billing. Yeah, it just made me smile, to be honest, but rest in peace to him anyway. Right, a few points that have come in overnight. I mean, they're all a bit unrelated to each other, to be honest, but I felt they were all worth noting. One of you picked up on the fact that I was picking up the song Instant Karma by John Lennon, and one of you in the comments below has actually written the words out for us to Instant Karma. You can obviously go and look at them yourself. But in that song, John Lennon actually uses the words revolution and evolution in the same verse. So I was talking about that, wasn't I, yesterday, that obviously if you knock the R off revolution, you have evolution. So John's energy is very around, and I get the impression he's a big Bernie Sanders fan, okay? I really get that very strongly because he's told me. And then on a sort of more, on another note, as I was thinking to myself on hearing, I was both thinking and then I heard John say that he liked Bernie. John gave me the song And We All Shine On, like the sun and the moon and the whatever it is. We all shine on like the da and the da and the da. And there was a nod to the fact, and I've mentioned this in yesterday's video, so if you haven't watched yesterday's video, you need to sort of catch up over the weekend. But if you choose to, I feel that when Bernie passes, and hopefully, as I say, that's in many years, he's going to be John Lennon and Bernie Sanders, as well as quite a few others, are a force to be reckoned with, the other side of the veil. So, you know, this is the interesting thing about the soul. The soul lives on, we know that, and the soul, of course, has characteristics from many different lifetimes and things that it's learnt, things that it's integrated. But somebody like John, who was just such a big political activist, and who had such strong ideals and indeed died for those ideals, I believe, if you've watched my channeling with him, you know, he's not going to really have changed that much just because he's not alive anymore. So John Lennon definitely supporting Bernie and willing him on. So I thought that was worth noting. I also wanted to mention Bernie's age, because I think a few people have sort of got the wrong end of the stick, because I was bringing up Bernie's age and I said he was 80. I actually have been corrected that he is 79 in September. So he'll be 79 when he goes into the end stages of this particular campaign. But some people are sort of saying, oh no, he's only 78, he's not 80. And then a few of you also are mentioning how old a lot of the others are. A lot of the others are in their 70s as well. This isn't something to do with being ageist, guys, okay? This is to do with getting real in terms of as you get older, things get harder, basically. Mental powers do decrease, whether we like that fact or not. If you just look at the basic science, from the minute you die, from the minute you're born, your brain cells are starting to die off. You know, life, it's not a criticism of anybody. You know, I'm in my 50s, I'm going through the menopause now. I know I have days where I am not functioning to the way that I could even 2 years ago, okay? So it's nothing to sort of harp on about, but it is about just being real. The thing that I think needs to be expressed here is it's not that older people don't have a part to play going forward. I am not about putting people on the scrap heap, okay? It's the last energy that I have in my body. I'm just not like that. And so the way I want to explain it to you is that the team stroke consensual politics that I see coming in the future, which I have talked about in the last video, where it isn't just about one person leading, it's about a team leading, much more so than now. On that team, there absolutely will be elders, okay? There will be people in their 70s, maybe in their 80s, but the point is they won't be the only one, you know? There will be other people in the team that are younger and are made up of other age groups. So I thought that was worth just reiterating, because that's where I was coming from on it. I hadn't actually appreciated, and I'm going to go through the remaining candidates that I hadn't looked at yesterday. A lot of them are quite old, actually, or old for the job, okay? Old for the job. Mike Bloomberg, for example, it says here he's 78. I'll reel off all their names and their ages, because I've printed it all out. I haven't done my homework, I've just printed it out. I'm going to read it with you. So that's the age thing. Also wanted to say something about Joe Biden. If you saw yesterday's video, there was a card that came up linked into loss, okay? Now, I hadn't appreciated, because I don't know these people, at all. That I think the reason why Metatron is asking me to do this is because actually I can be quite neutral, because A, I haven't got a vote, B, it's not my country, and C, to be perfectly honest, a lot of these people I don't know much about. And when you do a reading, whether it's for something like this, or whether it's for just somebody who's come to you as a client, sometimes the less you know, actually the more accurate you can be, because you've got nothing's interfering with it, okay? So I hadn't appreciated when that loss card came up, that Joe, I believe, lost a wife and a child, and so that explains that, and it also explains the oversensitivity and emotion that I was feeling around him. So I actually feel I've got a lot of compassion for him there, to have gone through that. But I still stand by what I was really saying about him yesterday. One other thing I want to mention with regard to Joe, though, I was looking at the online press this morning, and something's come in overnight that he's been talking about in terms of stuttering, because he stutters basically, or he has stuttered his whole life but has learned how to manage it. And he's quoted as saying the only handicap people still laugh at is stuttering. And actually, I want to give a shout out to Joe, because I think it's extremely impressive that he's mastered it, and he hasn't allowed that to handicap him through his career. He's risen to a great height, whether he becomes president or not. He's done extremely well in life. And I also really want to just put my hat off to him in terms of the fact that he's raising it as something that is out there, that as a society people don't understand, and people do very wrongly sometimes laugh at and don't understand the emotional angst that can go behind something like having a stutter. So I wanted to say that about him. I'm not going to mention that actually. Okay, let's move on. Elizabeth Warren, a few of you, or one person, I think it was just one of you, mentioned in the comments that she's a Cancerian. And that really surprises me actually in some ways, because I'm a Cancerian. I'm very Cancerian. I've got a daughter who's a Cancerian. I've got a lot of Cancerian friends. In fact, the Angelic Celestial Colours team, I think we've got a disproportionate number of Cancerians on the team. It's quite funny. So I hadn't noticed the Cancerian vibe with her, but one of you has mentioned that yes, she is, and that as an example, she goes out of her way to try to meet and greet anybody that turns up, to hear her speak. And so I didn't see that in her energy. When I say I didn't see it in her energy field, I wasn't picking up that softness so much that I associate with Cancerians. But the thing with a Cancerian is that it's the sign of the crab. So actually the softness is inside, and often it's just the shell that you see. And of course, maybe what she does sometimes is you see the shell, basically. You see the shell of the Cancerian energy that is there, but actually inside there's something a lot softer. And I'm really feeling that as I'm speaking to you, because if only she could dip into that a little bit more and bring that out and show that in public, I think it would actually really aid her campaign. So just wanted to mention that. And are we up to speed? I think we are. I actually thought it'd be interesting to pull a card just on the election itself for America. I also wanted to pull a couple of cards on the DNC, who, some of you have commented on this, including my friend Jenny over at Astrology for Ascension, Jenny Burak. The fact that I'd forgotten this, when all those karma cards were coming up, linked into particularly Bernie Sanders yesterday, of course, the DNC didn't support him last time, and there's this energy that he was cheated out of the nomination last time, 4 years ago, and the implication is they might do it again. So I thought, oh, well, who are these DNC and what do they stand for then? And, what's that all about? So again, I know nothing about the DNC, but I thought I would pull a couple of cards on them because I thought it could be quite interesting. So shall we do that? And we'll also pull a card on the election itself. And then the other thing I want to do is I want to go back and look at the few people we looked at yesterday, which was Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, and I'm going to pull an Ascended Master card for each person. And then I'm also going to pull an Ascended Master card for each of the people I'm talking about in this video. Because I think if we do that, it'll start to make us all realise that all of these people, even if you don't like them, they all have the divine within them, and they are all supported by spirit in some way, because they're all playing a part. Okay, it's that thing about we're all actors on the great stage. The stage is this earth, this incarnation. And one of you yesterday in the comments, and you're a very regular commentator on this channel, and so I'm not going to say what your name is, and in fact your comment didn't appear, but I am just going to mention it, because you said something along the lines of, why the hell am I reading on somebody like Bernie Sanders because he's blah blah blah, expletive, expletive, expletive. And I thought, hold on a minute, come on. This channel is about recognising the divine in everybody, okay? It doesn't matter what your politics are. Even if you can't stand what he stands for, you have to be able to see him as a human being and as somebody that has divinity. And exactly the same for the others on the other side, in terms of Republican. So if you're a Democrat and you can't stand what Trump stands for, or you can't stand Trump, you still have to appreciate he's a human being, he has the divine within him, and he also has his spiritual team. So I thought if we pull a card for each of them, it'd be quite interesting, A, to see what is the energy around them in terms of an Ascended Master, and B, it will make that point. Okay. I'm actually going to pull a card from the Archangel Metatron deck, which is my own deck, just in terms of the USA election, okay? So I just have no idea what is going to come out, whether this is even going to work, but of course it's going to work, Metatron's saying. Okay, let's get serious. One card, please, Metatron, for the election in November. Okay, I'm going to take that one. And it's the card of authentic self. Who are you? I mean, in a way, that does not answer any question, because what that's saying is the election is going to reveal who America is. As any election does, to be honest. Any election shows a country who it is. So if you don't vote, you're not part of showing who you are as a country. So this is to do with authentically showing the world who we are. This is who we are. I can't help but note that in this particular card, the way that Jane has painted it, we have somebody with a non-white skin tone. So I don't know whether that's a nod to the fact that people of other races who also are American get out and vote. It's like I think that might be part of it. At the end of the day, America is a land of immigrants, and every single person. So Let's pull a card for, let's pull some cards for the DNC. Let's do that before we do anything. And I'm just wondering which deck to use. It's interesting, I've got an after tarot deck that I use, and this is a brand new one. It's a great deck. It's never ever been used. So, oh, should we just christen this deck? Yeah, okay. There's got to be a time to do this. So these have been cleared, and they have been dedicated to their use. And we will just ask Archangel Metatron to bless them and to help us to see the truth. Let me just have, let me just see, what's the question? Show me the energy of the DNC. I don't even know what the DNC stands for. Is it the Democratic National Congress? Something like that? I guess it is. The ruling body, I guess. Right, DNC, show me the energy, please. I don't know why I'm laughing. The Tower. And we've also got the Four of Swords. I'm actually quite glad to see that for you. For you that want a Democrat leader, or, you know, you want the right Democrat person in power. Because the DNC, what that is saying to me is they've had too much power for too long. And there is a Tower moment coming for them. Particularly because it's followed by the Four of Swords. That to me is saying, and then the next card, by the way, on the bottom of the deck was the Star card, which is the card of hope. There is a moment of reckoning for the DNC. That is very, very clear from those cards. A moment of reckoning, and then a period of reflection and rest. And then the restoration of hope. So whoever makes up the DNC, whoever that is, there's a wake-up call coming. Right. Let's go to our new... Oh no, I was going to pull the Ascended Master energies, wasn't I? Okay, so let's just go back and let's look first at Joe. So I've got his actual age here. I've just printed this off from an article in the newspaper, and it also tells me what their slogan is. So he would be 78 on Inauguration Day in 2021. So, you know, he's getting on a bit as well for the job, to be perfectly honest. He would be 78. His slogan is, "Our best days still lie ahead." He would make history as the oldest person elected president. Okay. His religion, they say here, is Catholic. It says his views on key issues. No, I'm not going to read all that just because I haven't got time in this particular video. Maybe I'll put the link to this below. Oh gosh, his first wife and their 1-year-old daughter died in a car crash, which their 2 sons survived. Oh, that's horrible, isn't it? And then he lost his son from brain cancer. Okay, so he's gone through the ringer in his personal life. What are we asking here? We're asking about the Ascended Master energy around him. And I've got 2 Ascended Master decks. One is Doreen Virtue, the other is Carl Gray. And I'm just going to see, because they've got different people, they've got different beings in each, which one Joe wants. Which deck are we going to use for Joe? Okay, Joe doesn't want the Doreen Virtue deck, he wants the other one. Okay, let's see what energy is around Joe Biden. And of course, all of these cards are positive because the Ascended Master energies in them are all of love and light. So there's no such thing as a duff Ascended Master. Joe, which one's he got? He's got this one. Ooh, interesting. He's got White Eagle. Now, White Eagle, ancestor spirit, connect to your lineage. A family wound or a pattern can be healed now. He's got his ancestors around him. I actually also think he's got his son and his daughter around him, guiding him. That is very clear. Also, of course, we've got the sort of indigenous elder there, energy coming through with white spirit. linked to the land. I've no idea what his environmental policies are. If they're not good, I guess that White Eagle is trying to shout in his ear. Okay, so that's Joe's. I'm actually going to write beside them which ones they got. So he got White Eagle. Okay. Okay. Can't spend too long on each person, otherwise the video is going to be so long. Slogan, our best days still lie ahead. Well, that's what he's hoping. That's almost like that's more his personal statement rather than the country's, is what I'm picking up intuitively from that, which is that he's a 78-year-old man and he's wanting to hope that his best days still lie ahead. So there's a bit of sort of personal in there as well as collective. Okay. Next person we looked at yesterday was, let's do Elizabeth Warren next. Gosh, there's so many nominees. I don't know if I'm going to do everybody, but anyway, Elizabeth Warren. So she would be 71 if she gets elected. She would be 71. She's a law lecturer and an academic who became an expert on bankruptcy law. Could come in handy for the economy. Right. Was shortlisted to be Hillary's running mate and campaigned hard for her in 2016. Twice married, mother of 2 and grandmother of 3. Okay, she's raised a Methodist, now described as Christian with no fixed church. I hate her slogan. I feel like I'm having a real downer on Elizabeth, and it, irks me because she's a woman, so I want to get behind her. But the slogan, if this is correct, what I'm reading, Warren has a plan for that. Please tell me that's not her slogan. That is so dull. Warren has a plan for that. I hope that's not the slogan. But anyway, let's see what Ascended Master she's got behind her. And I'm going to do the same thing. Which deck does she want? So for Elizabeth, she wants the Doreen Virtue deck. Yeah, I thought she would. No, actually, she's happy with both. Okay. Well, no. I'm going to go with the first one. I'm going to choose one from Doreen Virtue. Elizabeth Warren. What spirit energy is around her? Serapis Bay, go now. Serapis Bay, go now. Just checking that this is actually recording. Oh, I hope it is. It's on automatic. Well, if it's not, it's not. It's flashing portrait at me. What the hell does that mean? I need to read the manual for this camera. Anyway, she's got Serapis Bay, go now. There's almost like an instruction with that, isn't it? Go now. Serapis Bay, let me just have a quick look. Serapis Gay. It's interesting I said Serapis Gay, because one of the nominees is gay, isn't he? Pete. So I don't know whether she has an issue with Pete, does she? Does she want Pete to go away? Go now? Anyway, Serapis Bay is an Egyptian god of ascension and a bridge between heaven and earth. He's the ultimate life coach who motivates people to take good care of themselves. Call upon Serapis Bay whenever you need additional energy and motivation to take action. Okay, well, she's got his energy around her. When I say this, it doesn't mean that they've got any awareness that these beings are around them, okay? Let's face it, a lot of us walk around with guides that we're not aware are even there. I teach this the whole time with Archangel Metatron because I tune people to him, and I often say he's been around you your whole life, you just haven't realised it. And then they become attuned and it's like, oh wow, that's Metatron, is it? I hadn't realised. So do realise when I'm saying this about these people that they don't necessarily know that these energies are around them. So she's got Serapis Bay. Let me just write that by her. Just because, I don't know, I'll probably come back to these people over the months to come and it might be interesting to look. Bernie Sanders. So we know Bernie is 79 and he's got quite a sense of humour, Bernie, in some ways, but it's quite dry because he's sort of saying, well, you wouldn't ask a woman their age, but everyone knows my age. He's almost a bit cross about it, but fair enough, okay. Yeah, he's a bit cross about it. Right, let's see who you've got around you, Bernie. Which deck are we going to use? He wants to go for the Carl Gray deck, yes. He is Jewish. It says he's secular Jewish. What is his slogan? Oh, don't say I haven't printed it out. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments. I thought I printed them all out. Well, I haven't got his slogan. That annoys me. I could look it up, couldn't I? Feels important that we need to know it. Bernie Sanders slogan. You're probably all shouting this at me now. Not me, us. Is that it? Not me, us. Yeah, I like that. It's not about me, it's about us. It's a nod to the teamwork energy that I'm feeling wants to come in. So he's on the ball. He knows that eventually we're going to be moving more towards consensual politics with a team. And it shouldn't be about one man or one woman. It should be about consensus. So it's the opposite of dictatorship. What energy does Bernie have around him, please, Metatron? Horus, Cosmic Gateway. That's another Egyptian energy. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. Let's just have a really quick look at Horus. Horus is the Egyptian eagle-headed god and sun, twin flame of the goddess Isis. He's known for his foresight, psychic awareness, and ability to travel between the worlds. He can help us move into the cosmos with our mind so that we can harness the natural magic that surrounds us. If you're seeing the symbol of an eye appearing around you, know that Horus is asking you to become aware of how you are influencing the energy around you. It's the eye. He sees everything. He sees everything. Bernie's got like the Horus energy hovering above him, looking out for him. A few of you wrote in the comments that you're worried about attempts on his life. I don't see that. I see that he's pretty well protected. Very well protected, actually. And I think he's protected by Horus. Okay, he's got this like eagle energy overlighting him. All right. Oh, let's do one for Trump, because we did Trump yesterday, although this is really about the Democrats. We'll do another video on Trump another time. But to be fair, I just wanted to include Trump out of respect because he is the sitting president. Let's see which deck Trump wants. I have a feeling what it might be. I'm not going to say what it is. We'll see. He definitely doesn't want the Dorian Virtue pack. Okay, Donald Trump. What is the energy around Donald Trump? Helping him, supporting him, guiding him, speaking to him. Donald Trump. And I'm just going to keep shuffling until I get one. There we go. Oh, okay. Mercury. It wasn't actually who I thought it was going to be. I thought it could have been Ashtar, but it's Mercury. Okay, Mercury. Mercury is the god of communication. Mercury is trying to help Trump with his communication. Okay. And it says, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love and be heard. Let's have a quick look at Mercury. And remember that often beings will be attracted to you who are trying to help teach you something or offer a service that you need. So with Bernie, he needs the protection of Horus. With Trump, it feels like it's teaching coming forward from Mercury in terms of how to communicate. Mercury is the Roman god of messages. Yeah, you see, because I feel like Trump's had a Roman past life. So Mercury is the Roman god of messages and communication. In Greek mythology, he's known as Hermes. And as well as overseeing communication, he oversees the planet Mercury. And when this goes retrograde, which means it appears to go backwards, communication can be delayed or difficult. We can call on Mercury for help with loving, honest and open conversations. Okay, he can help us heal miscommunications that have caused distress. So Mercury is the energy around Trump. Let's move on then to today and who we're going to look at. Who do I want to start with? It says here there are 11 Democrats running for president in 2020. A number have dropped out, so I'm recording this on the 6th, okay, 6th of February. So number 11, Archangel Metatron. 11 is also linked into gateways, wake-up calls. Right, I better just make a note that Trump was, what was he? He was Mercury. Okay. Michael Bennett, is he a real contender? I don't know anything about him. I've never heard about him. But anyway, he's apparently one of the 11. I'll look at him. I'm not getting much. I might come back to him. His slogan is building opportunity together. Let's go to somebody I'm actually feeling. I'm feeling Mike Bloomberg. Let's have a look at Mike Bloomberg. You see, he would be 78 on Inauguration Day as well. That's what he looks like for people that aren't in America and don't know these faces, including lots of us in Europe. I have to say my husband got quite excited when Mike Bloomberg stepped into the ring, for whatever reason. He's Jewish. His slogan is fighting for our future. He would make history as the oldest person elected president. He would be the first Jewish president. He would be the richest president ever. And he would be the first New York mayor to become president. As New York mayor, he banned smoking in public places and tried to outlaw large sugary drinks. Backs increased immigration. Opposed to Medicare for all, backed gay marriage early, but has flip-flopped on marijuana legislation, most recently opposing it, wants firm action on climate change, fiercely in favour of gun control. Okay. Right. What do I pick up from him then? Let's just have a look at his energy. I'm not being rude, but he's got large ears, is what I notice. And your ears do get larger actually as you get older, but he's got very large ears. And I'm being serious because I've talked about ears in other videos recently. So I notice people's ears. I feel like he would be able to listen to many different voices, and he would take into account different viewpoints, is the first thing that I'm wanting to say I'm feeling about him. Shrewd is a word that I'm hearing. Shrewd. Candid. I don't know why I'm getting the word candid. He's not giving much away, to be perfectly honest. He's quite guarded. His energy's quite guarded. He's a little bit hard to read. Okay, I'm hearing he would be respected on the world stage. I'm hearing the world would breathe a sigh of relief. Rightly or wrongly. That's in terms of the people who are on the world stage at the moment, the other politicians and leaders. I'm seeing that they would be welcoming him with open arms. Oh yeah, they would really be welcoming him with open arms. It's like they're dusting down the chair for him. So he would be very respected on the world stage. And the thing is, whether you believe that the people in power at the moment are all corrupt and all need to go, they are who we've got. And this guy would be able to sit at the table with other world leaders and they would actually listen to him. They would listen to him. And I feel he would listen to them as well. So his energy actually is quite clear. He is an older man, but, you know, his energy is quite clear. So I feel he's very mentally astute still. He's quite sharp. Shrewd, I said, didn't I? Shrewd. So let's pull some cards for him. And let's go to the After Tarot deck again. So we're going to ask about Mike Bloomberg, and we're going to pull 4 cards for each person. Okay. Mike Bloomberg. Ooh, that's the first one. That's the card of charity. Okay, that's giving to giving what am I trying to say? Well, just look at the card. Okay, it's the rich man, and it says he's the richest man. He would be the richest man to be president, but he is giving money to somebody here who's more like a beggar. Okay, he's giving to the poor. Metatron's saying it's tied into the age that he is. It is tied into the age that he is. So however he's conducted himself in the past, whether he has given to the poor or not, I've no idea, you know, it's as though he wants to give something back at this stage in his life. And I feel it's a genuine thing. He might not have behaved like that earlier on in his life, or maybe he is. I don't know whether he is a philanthropist, but I'm feeling as though he does want to give back. Quite intrigued by him, actually. You see, he's the richest person ever. He would be the richest person ever to be elected. But yeah, look at that card that's come out. You see, that's him, and he's giving to this beggar. There's a feeling it's almost like it's what I ought to do. And it is tied into his age, wanting to do some good works, you know? 7 of Pentacles, there we go. We've got another money card, working hard. He would encourage a work hard ethic, okay? Sort of a bit, I'm not saying he is like a Margaret Thatcher figure, but, you know, she was all about work hard, you know, work hard and, you know, achieve. It was all about achievement. So there's an energy here of working hard. He would get America working or encouraging a work ethic. But there's something there's something a little bit off here. Because this is the card of sneaky behaviour. Bit disappointing to see that. It was all looking so good. It's the card of lies. Something he's hiding. Trying to get away with something. What does that mean? But he would be aiming high. He's in it to win it. Absolutely. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of energy. He's got a lot of drive. Don't rule him out. What are his chances? What are his chances? Mike Bloomberg. What are his chances? Mike Bloomberg. The 5 of Cups. So I don't think it goes anywhere. You see, and on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Devil. It's not him as the Devil, but he's definitely bound to something that's, I don't know. He's bound to something, or he's been involved with something, or he knows people that have been involved with something, which is just of a lower vibration. Let's put it that way. It might be that he keeps coming back to money. Who funds him, or does he fund himself? I don't know. But no, I can't see it with the 5 of Cups. So that's him, but let's just see. But don't rule him out, I want to say as well, because remember timelines, etc. Let's just pull him a card. I feel he wants one from the Doreen Virtue deck, but let's check. He's the first person that doesn't want the more modern deck. So he's gone for the more traditional deck. Okay, what energy is around Mike Bloomberg? Helping him, supporting him, trying to teach him something. Moses, take charge of this situation. Well, that's the parting of the Red Sea, okay? So there's a link there, obviously, to the Israelites and the Promised Land, and he is Jewish. So I feel as though he would be, maybe he's in Israel's pocket. Maybe he's in Israel's pocket. Maybe that's why we were getting those cards, which were a little bit sort of, he's bound to something. Okay, just going to say that. So he's got Moses. But the other thing with Moses as well is Moses was the one who went up the mountain to receive the 10 Commandments. So I feel as though he would very much be about law and order as well. He's big on law and order. It says he is a philanthropist. You know, if I was a betting man, I definitely would not rule him out, put it that way. I wouldn't rule him out, but he did get the 5 of Cups. The other interpretation of that is he could do quite well, but it wouldn't bring him the satisfaction he thinks it's going to. Because I think he's going into the race feeling as though he really wants it. He wants the top job. And if he were to get it, there's just this feeling of dissatisfaction with that 5 of Cups energy. Don't rule that guy out, definitely. Right, so that's him. Now we're going to do Pete. How do we pronounce his name? Pete. It says here you pronounce his name Buttigieg. Is that right? I'm sure you're all going to tell me if it's wrong. But the thing is, if this guy gets into power, then everyone's going to be saying his name wrong for the first few months outside of America. And then everybody will get used to it. But according to my article, it's pronounced Buttigieg. So Pete Buttigieg, he would be 39 on the day of inauguration. Wow. Well, that would be a revolution. That would be a revolution. That would be evolution. Okay, there he is. This is going to sound a bit offensive, but I'm going to have to say it. And I don't mean it to be offensive, but it's just... people can sometimes have the characteristics of an animal about them, okay? So you can look a little bit horsey, or you can look a little bit piggy, or you can, you know, it's like when you have a dog, everyone says you look like your dog. And that's true actually as well. So when I first saw him, I was feeling the year of the rat. Now, the thing is, we are in the year of the rat, and he's just got a face that just reminds me a little bit of that. But as I say, I know people are probably going to be terribly offended by that, but I actually don't mean it as a insult at all. Because actually what I was feeling was this could be his year, okay? We're in the year of the rat. And isn't there a story about the rat? And it was K. was talking about this on his astrology YouTube channel, and he was saying I think it might be some sort of Buddhist story about a race of animals or something. The animals were all racing, and the one that actually won the race was the rat, but the rat basically won it on the back of the elephant. I think it was the elephant. So, oh my gosh, wow. Okay, I just realised what I've just said, because if you watched my yesterday's video, I said something along the lines of, I feel Bernie Sanders will only get so far, and then he passes the baton on to somebody else. And that would make sense of that story that I've just told you. And K. it was on one of his more recent videos, and he elaborated the story, and he talked about the story. And usually I haven't got the patience, and I would maybe just switch off. No offence to him, because I think he's great. But I didn't. I was really fascinated by the story. And the thing is, the rat won the race, but the rat won it on the back of another animal. So I don't know whether that's got anything to do with it. Let's just feel into his energy. So he would be 39. What else do we know about him? His father was Maltese American. He's raised as a Catholic, and he's now an Episcopalian, whatever that is. I guess it's a type of Christianity. Anyway, it's just a strand of Christianity. Is it? I assume it is. I've heard of it. I can't pronounce it, obviously, but he said the Democratic Party needs a fresh start. He wrote an essay in praise of Bernie Sanders, aged 17. Oh, wow. And his slogan is a fresh start for America. He's the first openly, if he would make history as the first openly gay and youngest ever president. And he's the first veteran of a post-World War II conflict. Oh, okay. So he's served in the military, has he? He's currently the mayor of Indiana and a Harvard graduate. He's been commissioned as a Navy Reserve Intelligence Officer. Okay, let's just feel into his energy for a moment. He's always had his eye on the prize, is what I'm hearing. He's always had his eye on the prize. Very fast, very adept, very sharp mental thinker. Can outmaneuver his opponents. Shrewd, another one who's shrewd. Tough skin. Needs to have a tough skin. I've seen that video of the lady in Iowa who changes her vote when she realises he's gay. She's voted for him and then somebody says he's gay and she says, I want to redo the ballot. You know, hurts. Things like that hurt. Of course they do. He will have faced enormous prejudice and will face enormous prejudice. The question is America ready for their first gay president? I don't know. But I tell you what, anybody that achieves that, they have to have a fairly tough skin. Let's see who's guiding him. I'm interested to see who's guiding him. Which deck shall we use? Okay, I've gone for the Doreen Virtue deck. I went straight to it, so there must be one person in here in particular that's guiding him. Or one being, not person, one being. Oh gosh, sorry, they've all fallen out of the deck. Let me just redo that. Pete. I do hope this is recording. Otherwise I've just wasted 52 minutes talking to myself. Are you all with me? Thoth. Thoth. There's a very big Egyptian vibe going on here. That's the third Egyptian energy. Now, of course, Thoth is linked into the Metatron energy as well. So he's got Thoth. I was talking when I was doing that. I just want to pull one more. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just that I wasn't totally focused. Pete. What energy has Pete got around him? Okay, yeah, this one's just flown out. Manjushri. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. Let's look it up. Oh, well, you put them together because I've pulled two for him. We've got write and we've got listen. Write and listen. So this guy's a very good communicator. He's a very good communicator. He's able to speak very fluently. Does he speak different languages? I'm feeling he could. If he doesn't, he definitely could. He's a linguist. But also he's a good listener. Again, very good listener. Let's just have a look at this card, listen. And this Ascended Master that I don't know much about. Hijklm. Right. Buddhist. It's a Buddhist energy. Oh, I was just saying about the Buddhist story that Kepacha was talking about. Okay, so it's a Buddhist energy. It's a Buddhist deity of wisdom who holds a sword to cut through illusions and bring clarity and understanding. Call upon Manjushri to help with understanding divine messages and to increase your receptivity to divine intelligence and wisdom. And then we've got Thoth as well. So, and the energy of write. Egyptian god of writing, manifestation, esoteric arts. He's an aspect of Hermes, the teacher of the Hermetic principles of alchemy and divine magic. Now this is interesting. He's considered the originator of written languages. That thing about the first to do something. I personally feel if Pete doesn't do it this time, he could well do it in the future. If it's not 2020, it could be in the future. But let's just ask the cards for 2020, okay? I don't think I'm going to get through everybody in this one session, but let's just do another 3 or 4. To be honest, those 11, they're not all going to be real runners anyway, so I just want to take the main ones. So Pete, let's just have a look at the energy around Pete, please, Metatron, for 2020 election. There's something very chummy and friendly about his name. That's interesting. You hear that? That's like, you know, that reminds me of sort of, it's sort of like in Arabian countries when there's like a victory parade and they do that toot, 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 toot. Yeah. We've got the card of the Three of Cups fell out, and also the Seven of Cups. The Three of Cups is the card of celebration. The Seven of Cups is the card of, do you really know what you're getting yourself into? You know, which of those cups do you really want? One of those cups has got a poisonous snake inside it. The other cup might have got, I don't know, gold and treasure. One cup has got victory. One cup has got a serpent. One cup is about illusion. So it's a card of sort of, I don't know, there's, to go with that cup of the Three of Cups, which is celebration, for those two to have fallen out together. I'm almost feeling like, does he know what he's really getting himself into type energy. It'll be dirty, I'm hearing. It'll be dirty. It'll be a dirty campaign if he's the nominee. But he's got a tough skin. There'll be a lot of dirtiness thrown at him. The Tower. He's got the Tower. And he's got the Queen of Cups. I'm not quite sure about who the Queen of Cups is, but the Tower. I think him and Bernie are very intrinsically linked together. I don't know whether this Tower thing is linked into Bernie. Let's pull one more card on the Tower. Why have we got the Tower for Pete? Maybe he is the Tower. Okay, I don't need a card. Metatron saying he is the Tower. I mean, if he got in, that would just like blow everything apart in terms of old paradigms. You know, you've got the youngest ever. What would he be? He'd be the youngest ever president, and he'd be the first openly gay president in a civil partnership with a man. That would like blow some of the, you know, narrow-minded people, you know, to smithereens. That would just smash so many glass ceilings. Oh, that would be fantastic, actually. I don't understand why we've got the Queen of Cups. Why have we got the Queen of Cups for him? Why have we got the Queen of Cups? The Ace of Pentacles. Oh, women are going to like him. Women like him. He might get the female vote. He might get the female vote. Yeah, and it's quite interesting because that video that's gone viral of that woman who is sort of like, oh, I wouldn't want to vote for him because he's gay. You know, I want to take my vote back. It's like she doesn't represent all women. There's a lot of other women who are complete polar opposite to her. It's like she's it's like old paradigm is what she's expressing. I mean, bless her, but you know, she's stuck in a different age. She's not moving with the times. So women are going to offer him their support if he was the nominee. Okay, this is all still if. But I still feel, even if he doesn't get it this time, I feel he's one to watch for the future. Let's just have a look at his chances of actually becoming president as it stands today. The Two of Cups, not a bad card. Shows, and there's two people there contributing to the vision of a new dawn, a new world. 1 and 1 make 11 as well. 11 candidates. 11 is linked into doorways, gateways. Not a bad card. Just wonder if it's still a little bit too soon for him. But pretty good cards. Right, let's just see one more person. Let's do Tulsi. And no, actually, before I do her, I want to do the other guy. The one that really caught my eye. Andrew Yang really caught my eye. I'm not going to do all these people. I haven't got the energy for all 11. I'm going to do Andrew Yang and I'm going to do Tulsi. Yeah, when I was just reading through the 11, Andrew Yang really caught my eye. This is what he looks like. He is 40. He would be 46 on the day of inauguration. He's got no current job. It says here. He would make history as the first Asian American president. His parents were both immigrants from Taiwan. He warns of the rise of robots and artificial intelligence, and he wants £1,000 a month universal basic income and social media regulated. He's spoken out against male circumcision. He wants a state monitor to crack down on fake news. Well, he would give Zuckerberg a run for his money, wouldn't he? Mark Zuckerberg. His slogan is humanity first. I like this guy. I just like this guy's energy, I have to be honest. Right, let's just see. Neutrality. Let's just get into neutrality. Okay, Andrew Yang. I'm getting the phrase fish out of water. Doesn't feel as though he's got, when I say he doesn't feel like he's got a lot of support, I'm talking about in terms of the traditional circles that usually gets you into power. That doesn't mean that he can't find his own pool to swim in, okay? He would need to, it's almost like I'm being told he would always need to create his own counterculture around him. That's an interesting thing to sort of feel. I'm realising now, I'm looking at his photograph. On this photograph, it says vote here and it says vote aqui. It's obviously a word, whatever that word is, but it looks like aqua. I didn't see that when I was channeling that thing about fish out of water. His slogan is humanity first. He's a galactic. He's got to be a galactic, this guy. He is a galactic. It's almost like I don't even need to pull a card. I will pull a card for him in terms of what guide. But even if we don't get Ashtar, he's got Ashtar around him. He is one of the good guys. You know, in terms of the galactics, there are good guys and there are bad guys. I feel Andrew Yang is one of the good galactics, okay? And he's done battle with who the bad galactics are on our planet before in other parallel universes. And it's like he knows who he needs to go after. Let's put it that way. Fish out of water, though. He does feel a bit of a fish out of water. He feels as though he's just sort of landed from a different place, which he probably has because he's got a galactic heritage. He's got Paul the Venetian, experiencing grace. Share your gifts with grace. Waves of inspiration and love are coming to you, very much coming from the heart. And if his slogan is humanity first, that isn't just a slogan that's been made up for marketing's sake. He really, really is coming from the heart, and he passionately believes what he's saying, and he means it. He genuinely has humanity's interests at heart. And he's also a visionary. He's able to see into the future. He's able to see the damage that artificial intelligence can do if it goes unchecked. And he's a bit like, you know, the Terminator films, when Arnie comes back to stop something happening that's sort of in one timeline is destined to happen. Andrew Yang is like a Terminator type energy. He's come back with the knowledge of what can potentially happen, and he's trying to stop it. Blimey. Bloody hell. Yeah, I'm really feeling that. I'm really feeling that. And to be honest, this goes, forget whether he's a Democrat or Republican. This goes beyond politics. This goes beyond politics. This guy's mission goes beyond politics. And what I'm hearing him, Metatron, saying is if he doesn't win politically, somehow he does the job in another way. It's like he's trying to get into a position of power, and that's why he's unemployed at the moment. He's trying to get into a position of power. Metatron saying, no, don't use the word power, a position of influence to stop what potentially in one timeline can happen. He's not the only one, okay? There are others here on the earth also doing this job, but he's important. Christ. But yeah, you know, he can do it. I'm not feeling like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, he can do it. He's got the yang energy, you know, yang. He's got the masculine energy. Can do. Paul the Venetian as a guide. He's going to do it with grace. Paul the Venetian is said to be the ascended form of Paolo Veronese, a famous artist of the Italian Renaissance. The Venetian refers to the fact that he was connected to Venice and Italy. It is believed that on his passing in 1588, he had the opportunity to help humanity by sharing his lifelong wisdom. He is the keeper of the light who helps us accept our talents and hone our skills. He brings waves of good energy, grace and encouragement, and works with all artists, musicians, designers, and anyone who needs support in channeling their talents. Andrew is creative, or will be creative, in the way he goes about doing what he's meant to do in this lifetime. You know, I'm going to pull some cards from him with regard to 2020 election, but it feels like it's so much bigger than even that. You know, this is like a lifetime's work that he's got ahead of him, and somehow we're going to be hearing more about this guy in the future. And I do think he's got the energy of Christ around him as well, protecting him. Right, Andrew Yang, just show me some cards for 2020. Let's just focus on this timeline at the moment and what he's about. The King of Pentacles. He believes he can do it. He's grounded. The Three of Wands, he has a vision. Again, it's the card of vision. He knows where he's going. And I tell you what, there's nobody else there around him. It's just him. It's quite a lonely place for him to be at the moment. It's like he's shouting in the wind. The Ten of Cups. And one more. And that's really sort of, that's the unity consciousness card for me. That's everybody sitting around the campfire, getting on with each other. Those two came out at the same time. The Two of Wands and the Four of Wands. Look at all these look at all these wands. There's a lot of energy there. Can you feel the power of that? He's going to get things done, this guy. Okay, in terms of this particular election, 2020 election, show me his chances in this 2020 election. You see, the thing is, we're saying all this, but again, it's all to do with whether the DNC allows these people to even come forward as nominees. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. The Hare. Isn't there a story about the tortoise and the hare? Does the hare win the race? I don't think the hare wins the race, does it? High Priestess on the bottom of the deck. Something we can't see. Something that's hidden, something that's veiled. Might just be not quite his time. but one way or another, he's going to make his presence felt going forward. It's definitely one to watch for the future. Right, I'm going to do one more because I'm getting tired, guys. And then we'll, if any of the others become real contenders, I'll do them. Tulsi Gabbard. I think my battery's about to die actually, so I might actually go and have a break. I'm going to go and have a break and get some water and come back to Tulsi. And I'm going to pray that this is recorded. I'm going to be so irritated if it hasn't. So hopefully you're going to see me in a minute having had some water, and I shall be back. Bye for now. We'll come back and we'll do Tulsi. Hello everybody, I'm back. Just going to finish off this video. It's now 5 to 5 and I went and did a supermarket shop whilst my battery was charging. I also just needed to get out and ground actually after what was just coming through, particularly with regard to Andrew Yang. And I will just explain at this point, because it's been commented a few times when I mention that I'm getting tired towards the end of a video. I mean, these videos are quite long. I just want to explain that when you're going in and out of people's energy fields, which is basically what you're doing when you're doing this type of reading, Metatron is saying if you could actually see that visually in terms of what's happening to your auric field, and I can't really explain it, but he's showing me a reference it's a bit like Star Trek. It's like you're beaming yourself up to a different frequency to be able to do it in the first place. And then what you're doing is it's like you're landing in different spaces, i.e. different people's energy fields. And then you have to sort of get yourself back to where you are as well. So it's sort of like this dipping in and out and weaving, ducking and diving type thing. And that's why it can be tiring. Even when I do readings, I only manage 2 a day when I do them. I just can't do any more than that. So anyway, we're going to finish with Tulsi and we're going to have a look at her. So let's just get back into the zone. Let me just spray a spray. What do I want to spray? Let's just go for the sage just to clear the energy of the others we've looked at so far. So we can come in fresh to her. So this is what she looks like. And she would be 39 on Inauguration Day. It says here, this was obviously written a couple of days ago in a paper, still to formally file any papers, but she said she would run on January the 11th, 2019. So I'm not sure whether she is actually a candidate or not. And one of you in the comments said that she might be too young anyway. So I don't know. But I think we'll still look at her anyway, because a few of you have asked. The thing that interests me about her is it says she's currently a Hawaii congresswoman. And there was something about Hawaii that came up yesterday. Oh, I know what triggered it. I didn't say it at the time, but it was with regard to the cards I got for Bernie. Do you remember we had a card which was to do with Atlantis? And it made me think of ancient lands that lie beneath the seabed that are going to be rising up again. Now, Hawaii obviously is already visible. And I'm not saying that's where Atlantis was. It's linked into other ancient civilizations. But there are new lands that are basically arising around Hawaii and a new consciousness. So I'm quite interested that she's got that Hawaiian energy. It says she was born on American Samoa, but she was raised largely in Hawaii. And she co-founded an environmental non-profit with her father as a teenager. She's been enlisted in the National Guard and served in 2 tours, including Iraq and Kuwait. So she's, you know, she's got some strength about her, this lady, to have done all that by the age of 39 and to be in the running for nomination is quite impressive. She's a Hindu. I love that. I love the fact that so many of these candidates have got different belief systems. I think that's brilliant. I really do. She would make history as the first female Hindu and Samoan American president, and she would also be the youngest president ever. And her slogan is "Lead with love." Lead with love. Okay, so I know nothing about her at all, apart from I've heard her name. So let's just see what I can pick up. It's actually not a great photograph that I've got here of her. I'm not finding that a great photograph, but it's what I've got, so I'll just go with it. Her model looks belie steel beneath the surface, I'm hearing, because she is quite attractive as a lady. She's attractive, but she's made of steel, I'm hearing. I'm actually going to start by seeing what guide she's got around us and see if they will help lead me into her energy field. Let's see which deck we're going to go for. Tulsi. Okay, go for that deck. Tulsi Gabbard. So Archangel Metatron. Let's have a look at Tulsi Gabbard. She seems to be somebody that provokes very strong reactions in people. I have noticed that. When I have seen her name mentioned, it seems to have been, people seem to either really dislike her intensely or love her. So it's funny, actually, I've just bought a pot of Marmite because I've just been to the supermarket, and Marmite is one of those things that you either love or hate as well. But the thing about Marmite is it will always be there, okay? It's an iconic brand. Even the people that really hate it have to appreciate the fact that Marmite's not going anywhere. So I actually feel there's something here with her, which is that her detractors, it's like she can just, I'm not saying that it doesn't hurt the flack that she gets, but she is able just to dust herself off and get back to it basically every day. And she's very strong. She's very, very strong. So any sort of flack or people shouting stuff at her, water off a duck's back. This girl, it's not gonna bother her. Okay. Right. Let's see who's around her then, helping her, supporting her, guiding her at this time. Let's just have one, please, from this deck. The Divine Director. Intervention and purpose. Well, I'm not even sure whether who is the Divine Director, whether that's God himself. I'll look up in a minute. But it says divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. So it seems as though, and again, I'm not sure whether this is actually her time yet, but it feels as though there is a bit of divine intervention that comes in at some point to aid her path in terms of whatever she's meant to be doing. It's as though she's got a very destined path to follow. So let's just have a look at who the Divine Director is. Okay, yeah. Well, that's interesting. It says the Divine Director is a facet of the heart of the Creator. According to New Thought teaching, his energy is merged directly with God's divine plan so that we can access it and understand on a deeper level what will support our true function. The Divine Director works directly with angels, and in particular guardian angels, so that they can fulfill their role of supporting the earth and all her people. Right now, this is interesting because her slogan is about love. It's lead with love, and it says, right now your angels are reminding you that your divine purpose on earth is to remember love and to do what makes you happy. So I feel that even that slogan that she's got, lead with love, it's actually coming direct from source, direct from God. It's like that slogan was channeled basically to her, whether she received it in dream state, whether she, she's obviously come up with it herself or one of her team has come up with it, but it was literally dropped in from a higher place of consciousness. So lead with love. At some point in the future, USA will be led by love. And whether that time is now or whether it's in 4 years' time, 8 years' time, 12 years' time, who's to say? But I do feel she's a little bit ahead of her time, but we'll see. I'm just going to pull some cards on her to start with, because I'm not picking up a lot from that photograph that I've chosen from her. Let's have a look. I think she can be quite suspicious of people. I'm feeling that for some reason. Quite guarded. It might be her training, to be cautious in that respect. I don't think she takes everybody at face value. Again, I'm hearing the word shrewd. There seems to be a lot of shrewdness as an energy that's running through these candidates. I don't think she takes everybody into her inner circle. She may appear as though she's got a large, wide circle, but I don't actually think that her inner circle is as big as you think it is. What's her birth date? I'm picking up a bit like an Aries energy with her. Let's just have a look at when her birth date is. She might not be an Arian, but I'm picking up there's something to do with the Aries type energy with her. Maybe she's got it in her chart somewhere. Let's just see what sign she is. Hold on a minute. Oh, she is an Aries. Okay, she is. All right, I'm good. Okay, she was born April the 12th, 1981. God, that makes me feel old. Right, okay, 1981, you see, that was pivotal to me. That was the year that I really got into pop music. But anyway, she was born April the 12th, 1981, under the sign of Aries and a sign ruled by Mars. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was picking up the Aryan energy. Let's see what her numerology is. April the 12th, 1981, because I'm finding her harder to read intuitively. So let's just go in at a different angle in terms of a more analytical thing. So her numerology is 3, 7, 8, 17, 18. She's a 26. She's an 8. She's a 26-8. Is that right? 3, 7, 8, 17, 18. Yeah, she's a 26-8. Well, she's got a lot of power. 8 is energy of power, a lot of power. And she is very connected to source. She's very connected into spirit, whatever she calls it. Does it say what her religion is? Hindu. Okay. Let's just call it source then. She's connected into source. What was the guide that came out for her? Okay, the guide that came out for her wasn't it? It was the Divine Director. So 26-8. 26 is an energy that can link into codependency, difficulty in relationships. She's been married to a second husband. I wouldn't be surprised if she does run into difficulties in her personal relationships. I think she's quite guarded. Nothing wrong with that. Let's pull some cards for her. So, Tulsi Gabbard, please. Tulsi Gabbard. She's got the Tower and the 7 of Cups. I'm not sure she really knows what she wants, actually. That's sort of the energy I'm picking up with her. And I don't think she necessarily knows where she fits either. She's got this beautiful face and she's very attractive. And I'm sort of feeling a pull towards, I want to say, celebrity culture. I think celebrities who are that way inclined politically would love her. But yet there is this other side to her that she sort of wants that but doesn't want that. I don't think she knows what she wants. Seven of Cups, somebody else had that. Not really sure what I want. And the Tower, but reading them together, to me, I don't feel she knows what she wants. And maybe, well, no, she doesn't. I mean, she hasn't yet formally declared, according to this thing that was written 2 days ago. So yeah, that's right. What I'm saying is right. She doesn't know whether she really wants to go for it, is my guess. What else can we say about Tulsi Gabbard? 2020 presidential election, Metatron. What else can we say? The Seven of Pentacles, working hard. What does she currently do? She's currently a Hawaii congresswoman. I feel like she works hard at what she already does, and I think she's already quite embedded in terms of that job, that role. And it's almost like I want to make sure the job is done properly. A feeling of unfinished business there, a feeling of loyalty. It's a bit like being on the battlefield, you know, I need to finish it off properly. Sort of picking that up with her as well. Find her very hard to read, actually. It might just be because I'm getting tired, but let's just give it a go. One more card. The Knight of Swords. Okay, Knight of Swords. I think she comes in and she speaks her truth. I think she can maybe speak it a bit bluntly. I think she can wind people up the wrong way. But she does it because she does mean business. When she's on the ball and focused, she means business. But I just don't pick up a focused energy with her at the moment at all. What are her chances in 2020? I'm not feeling it, to be honest. I think you can see that in my energy. I'm not feeling it with her. But it might just be that it's too soon. It's not her time yet. Because this is just about 2020, the 2020 presidential race. Does she have a chance? No, she's worried about it. You see, the nine of Swords, and we've also got the Hanged Man. And then there's the Hermit on the bottom of the deck as well. She does not know what she wants. She doesn't know whether she wants this. And she is in quite, whether you see this or not, you may very well not see it, there is deep introspection with her, and it's actually causing her some sleepless nights in terms of, do I want this? Do I want to bring this into my life? Do I want to bring this into my family? Do I want this? The Hanged Man is the card which is basically saying, I'm trying to work it out. I'm trying to see it from a different perspective. I'm trying to actually imagine, what would it be like to be a president of the United States? What would that feel like? What would that be? Do I actually want it? That's what I'm getting from her. So I can only assume that if she is a serious contender, maybe she will be coming in late, but I don't think it's now. I don't think this is, it's the timeline. The timeline is wrong for her, personally, is what I'm feeling. Going into the future, let's have a look at the future. Going into her future, does it change? Is there another timeline where she comes into more focus? I mean, I know she does make quite a lot of noise in terms of, you know, I mean, I've heard who she is. I don't know much about her, but I've heard of her. The Nine of Wands. You see, look at that card. You know, that person's, again, I think I said suspicious. She's just a bit suspicious of what it would entail. What she would have to give up is what I'm hearing. Does she really want it? I'm just repeating the same thing. That's what I'm feeling with her. So I'm not going to go into much more depth about that because it's just blurred and confused. And we're trying to get clarity here. And it feels to me as though it's very clear that I don't think she's a main contender this time round. Might be different in the future. Now I'm just trying to see who I haven't done. I haven't done Amy Klobuchar. I've not even heard about her, so I don't know whether she's a main contender. She's obviously another woman. There is Deval Patrick. I haven't heard of him either. Have we done everybody else? Let's have a look. Tom Steyer. Actually, I did want to look at Tom Steyer. He jumped out at me a bit as well. Let's just have a quick look at Tom. Oh, we've also got Michael Bennett. I'm not doing all of these. Let's do Tom quickly. Why did I want to look at Tom? I think he's quite old school, isn't he? Yeah, his slogan is still to be announced, it says here. And in terms of why he would make history, it says there's no obvious claim that he could make, okay? So I'm feeling like same old, same old. He's a Presbyterian. He's a managing director of Bain Capital. He's been an assistant attorney general for civil rights in the Clinton administration and then Texaco and Coca-Cola. Ran for Massachusetts governor. What am I feeling with him? He's got my daughter's birthday, July the 9th, so he can't be all bad. July the 9th people, from my experience, I know a few. Quite complex. They're quite complex. They're quite deep. They're also usually have got a little bit of, they are Cancerian, so there's a bit of privacy thing there. You can't see everything that's on the surface. You can't see it all. What am I feeling about this guy? Oh, he's currently retired. New York born to a wealthy family. Banker. He's made himself a billionaire. It'll be lovely one day when somebody comes to a position of power into a country like America and they just, they don't have the money. Two cards just fell out of the pack then, in case you're wondering. I was shuffling, but I wasn't shuffling with any intention, so I'm not sure even they're that relevant, but I will just say what they are. I've got the Empress and the High Priestess, two female energies. So something hidden with the High Priestess. The Empress, to me that always looks like the Statue of Liberty, that card. Not sure I'm getting much on him either. Let's just pull 4 cards for Tom Steyer and his chances. I can't see it, I just can't see it. I'm not feeling anything, but let's just see. The Wheel of Fortune, Fate, Justice on the bottom of the pack. But I don't think it's fated that he's president, personally. I think there's something that comes into his life that just takes him off in a different direction. The 8 of Wands. In terms of this 2020 presidential election. The 7 of Swords, but it came upside down. That's the card of work, but it was upside down. Oh, he's retired. Do you know, I'm always wanting to say there's this thing about, do I really need to do it? Oh my God, I could imagine that. Imagine you're fabulously wealthy, you're leading a good life, you're healthy, you've got all the money in the world. I don't know what his spiritual beliefs are, but, assuming he's happy, he's retired, he can do anything with his life. Why would you want to go back and do this job? Really? Very blinking hard work. The Hermit, yeah. I'm feeling as though there's a bit of indecision with him as well in terms of whether he really wants it. He hasn't announced a slogan. What's his slogan? If he was that really passionate about it, surely he would have said something by now, wouldn't he? I don't know. If he becomes a main player, we will look at him again. All right? We will look at him again. I promise you that. And indeed, the other couple that I haven't done, we will look at them. But I think, to be honest, in these 2 videos, I've covered who will be the presidential candidate. And it's as clear as mud. But where are we at with it? I mean, Bernie, yes, potentially, if the DNC don't nobble him again. Joe Biden, don't think so. But I'm not ruling him out, don't think so. Elizabeth Warren, I don't know, I just can't. I'm not feeling the love there, to be honest. When I say that, I'm talking about in terms of the people. Pete Buttigieg, Pete, I can't remember how to say his name now. Pete, let's just call him Pete. Yes, I think he's a serious contender. Andrew Yang, yes, serious contender. So basically we're down to Bernie, Pete, Andrew, the Bloomberg, the Mike Bloomberg, potential, maybe, Mike Bloomberg. I don't know. When it's announced and when we know, I'll come back and I'll have another good look at it. But I'll tell you what, it's been an interesting journey, hasn't it? I do quite like the look of Devil Patrick as well. Deval Patrick, I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. All my bits of paper are now out of order, so I'm not quite sure if I've even got the right words to go with him. I'm not sure I've got the right words to him. He's going to be 63 anyway. If it's right, his slogan is actions speak louder than words. Is that right? And he would be the richest Democratic president ever. I'm not sure I've got the right words for him. Maybe that was Michael Bennett. He could be building opportunity. It doesn't matter. I'm tired, guys. I'm going to go. What time is it? It's 5:20. I've had enough of it. I haven't had enough of you. I've just done enough. Okay, over and out. Let's just give it up to the light that the best candidate for the states comes forward and is elected, that the people actually can get behind. I will also, over the coming weeks and months, I will obviously look at Donald Trump and the Republican chances and whoever his running mate is. I assume it's still going to be Pence again, is it? So, all to play for. Much love. Speak to you all soon. Bye-bye for now.